My name is Samantha Lee. I'm 34 years old, and on June 12, 2024, I died in a car accident on the Pacific Coast Highway. I was an influencer, a successful one. What Jesus revealed to me in the moments after my death about the hidden sin that is poisoning millions through their phone screens, a sin most of us commit every single day without even realizing it, will change the way you look at your life forever. Before the accident, my life was, by all appearances, perfect. I mean, it had to be. Perfection was my brand. I had 4.7 million followers on Instagram. My feed was a curated gallery of a life well lived. You know the look: sun-drenched mornings in Bali, sponsored posts featuring luxury skincare, perfectly plated acai bowls, and, of course, candid but not really candid photos with my equally attractive boyfriend, Josh. I wasn't just selling products. I was selling a dream. The dream of a flawless, effortless, beautiful life. It all started in my late 20s. I was working a dead-end marketing job, scrolling through Instagram on my lunch breaks, feeling this, like, gnawing emptiness. I would see these women online, traveling the world, wearing designer clothes, living these incredible lives, and a voice in my head would whisper, asterisk, why not you, Sam? Their life could be your life. Asterisk. So, I started small. I used my meager savings to buy a few key outfits, learned how to use Lightroom presets to make my cheap apartment look chic, and started posting. I emulated the girls I admired. My captions were all about living your best life and manifesting your dreams. It was all fake, of course. I was eating ramen noodles 5 nights a week so I could afford one fancy brunch to photograph on Saturday. But it worked. The likes started pouring in. The followers grew. Brands started noticing me. At first, it was just free protein bars and teeth whitening kits. But soon, it was 5-figure deals for a single post. I quit my job. I moved to a high-rise apartment in Santa Monica with an ocean view. I was living the life I had once envied. The irony was, the more perfect my life looked online, the more hollow I felt inside. My entire day revolved around creating content. A beautiful sunset wasn't a moment to enjoy, it was a backdrop for a photo. A vacation wasn't for relaxing, it was for shooting a week's worth of content. My relationship with Josh became a series of staged photo ops. Babe, can we just watch a movie? He'd ask. Not until we get the perfect cozy night in shot for the new blanket sponsor, I'd reply. I went to church sometimes. You know, for the big holidays. It was good for the brand. A post about gratitude and faith on Easter always did well with engagement. I believed in God, in a distant, convenient sort of way. I thought that because I wasn't a bad person, I donated to charity, I was nice to my fans, I was okay in his book. I was so wrong. My secret obsession was my analytics. And not just my own. I spent hours, late at night, scrolling through the feeds of other influencers. Girls who were prettier, who had more followers, who got bigger brand deals. I'd look at their perfect lives and feel that same old poison I felt in my cubicle years ago, but 1,000 times stronger. It was a toxic cocktail of jealousy, insecurity, and a desperate need for more. More followers, more money, more validation. I called it market research, but it was the sin of comparison, and it was eating my soul alive. The day I died started like any other. I had a huge brand deal with a luxury car company. They'd given me a brand new convertible for the week. The plan was simple. Drive up the PCH, do an Instagram live talking about freedom and chasing your dreams, and get some stunning coastal shots. I set up my phone on the dashboard mount, went live, and started driving. Hey, lovelies! I chirped, flashing my professionally whitened smile. Just out here living my best life and feeling so grateful. Remember, you can create the life you want. Don't ever let anyone tell you your dreams are too big. I was so focused on the camera, on the comments flooding in, that I barely noticed the sharp curve ahead. I was reading a comment, Asterisk OMG, I wish I was you. Asterisk, when my front tire hit a patch of gravel on the shoulder. The car swerved violently. I remember a flash of blue sky, the horrific sound of screeching tires and crunching metal, and then silence. The pain was gone. The fear was gone. I was floating in a place of pure, warm light. It wasn't a bright, blinding light, but a gentle, living light that pulsed with a love so profound, so complete, it was like breathing for the first time. All the anxiety, the insecurity, the constant pressure to perform, it all just melted away. And then I saw him. Jesus. He wasn't a painting or a statue. He was real, powerful, and more beautiful than any sunset I had ever tried to capture. His eyes, they held the wisdom of eternity and a love that knew every broken, hidden part of me and loved me anyway. Samantha, he said. My name, spoken by the creator of the universe, was like a song I'd always known but never heard. I fell to my knees, not out of fear, but out of an overwhelming sense of coming home. Lord, I wept, tears of pure joy washing over me. But his expression was tinged with a deep, holy sadness. Samantha, he said again, his voice gentle but firm, I am showing you a great sorrow. The devil has created a new weapon for your generation, a poison that is destroying millions of souls, and they do not even see it. The beautiful light around us shifted. Suddenly, I was looking down, not at earth, but at a sea of souls. Millions upon millions of people, each one holding a small, glowing rectangle in their hands. Their faces were illuminated by the cold, blue light of their phones. Look closer, Jesus urged. I focused on one young woman. She was scrolling through a feed that looked just like mine. She saw a picture of a smiling couple on a beach in Greece. And as she looked at it, I saw a wisp of gray, like smoke, rise from her heart. It was the smoke of envy. She double-tapped the photo, leaving a heart, but her own heart grew a little colder. I watched her scroll further. A photo of a woman with a seemingly perfect body in a bikini. Another wisp of gray smoke rose, the smoke of self-loathing. She commented, "Goals," but I could feel the despair settling over her spirit. I saw a young man looking at a post from an entrepreneur showing off a new sports car. The smoke of discontent rose from him. I saw a mother looking at another mother's perfectly clean house and perfectly behaved children. The smoke of inadequacy choked her spirit. With every scroll, every like, every follow, their souls grew dimmer. They were all connected, yet utterly alone, trapped in a silent, digital prison of their own making. This is the hidden sin of comparison, Jesus said, his voice thundering with sorrow. It is the ancient sin of envy, repackaged for a modern world. The enemy no longer needs to whisper in their ear. They willingly hold his weapon in their hands. They scroll through curated illusions and mistake them for reality. They compare their behind-the-scenes struggles with everyone else's highlight reels. The scene shifted. I saw the spiritual reality behind the screens. I saw demonic spirits hovering over these scrolling souls, gleefully fanning the flames of jealousy and insecurity. They would whisper suggestions. Asterisk, her life is so much better than yours. You'll never be that successful. You are not enough. Asterisk, they believe they are seeking inspiration, Jesus continued, but they are consuming poison. A poison that rots their gratitude for the life I have given them. A poison that destroys their sense of self-worth, a worth that comes not from followers or possessions, but from the fact that they are made in my image. It is the devil's most effective modern strategy to make my children forget who they are. Then, to my horror, he showed me myself. I saw my own 4.7 million followers. I saw the gray smoke rising from their hearts as they looked at my perfect life. I had been a merchant of this poison. In my quest for validation, I had become a stumbling block for millions, leading them into the very same trap that had ensnared my own soul. Lord, I didn't know, I cried, the full weight of my sin crushing me. I thought I was inspiring them. I thought I was helping them dream. You were seeking the love of the world instead of the love of your Creator, he said, his gaze piercing through me. You built a kingdom for yourself on a foundation of illusion, and in doing so, you helped the enemy build his prison. I wept, fully understanding the depth of my failure. All the likes, all the money, all the fame, it was all worthless ash in the face of this eternal reality. I am sending you back, Samantha, Jesus said, his hand resting on my shoulder, flooding me with a sense of purpose I had never known. I am sending you back to warn them. Tell them to guard their hearts. Tell them that the life they see on their screens is not real. True life, abundant life, is found only in me, not in the curated perfection of others. He continued, warn them that comparison is the thief of joy and the killer of gratitude. Tell them to stop chasing the shadows on their screens and to start seeking the substance of my love. I did not die for them so they could feel inadequate in the face of an illusion. The light began to fade, and I felt a violent pull, a lurch back toward the world. Jesus' final words echoed in my spirit. Go. Tell them to look up from their screens and see me. Their value is not in their followers, but in the fact that they are followed by the Good Shepherd. I woke up with a gasp, the blinding lights of an ICU in my eyes. Machines were beeping all around me. A nurse rushed to my side. She's awake. Doctor, she's awake. My body was broken, but for the first time in my life, my spirit was whole. The doctors called it a miracle. I had been clinically dead for 6 minutes. They couldn't explain my recovery. But I knew. When I was finally able to use my phone, I didn't check my analytics. I went to Instagram and, with shaking hands, I hit the Go Live button. My face was bruised, I was in a hospital gown, and a tube was still in my nose. Hey, lovelies, I started, my voice hoarse. Tears streamed down my face. I have to tell you the truth. The life I showed you, it wasn't real. But I just came back from a place that is more real than anything I have ever known. And I have a message for you. My name is Samantha Lee. I died in a car crash and discovered that the devil's most modern and successful weapon isn't some obvious evil. It's the phone in your hand. It's the hidden sin of comparison that we engage in every single day. Jesus showed me that our obsession with the curated lives of others is a spiritual poison that is creating a generation of people who feel anxious, depressed, and unworthy, stealing the gratitude and joy He died to give us. If this message has shocked your heart and made you realize how much time you spend comparing your life to the illusions on your screen, I need to know. Please write, "I am more than a follower," in the comments below, and share what country you're watching from. Subscribe so you won't miss the other urgent warnings God is revealing to His people. And please, share this video with 5 people you know who are trapped in the cycle of social media comparison. Your worth is not determined by likes, it was determined by the cross. It's time we all started living like we believe it.